Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Street Fighter 2 ReAction figures from Super7. That's right, brand new action figures based on the classic Street Fighter 2 video game, done in a retro 3 3/4 inch action figure. How cool is that? I think some of these properties are so well fit for this particular style and scale of action figure, and I think these guys look like a lot of fun. So let's check them out. First things first, they all come on really cool blister card packaging. We've got a great assortment of characters in this wave, including Ryu, Zangief, Chun-Li, Bellanca, Ken, and Bison. And as you can see, each of the figures have really cool card backs that have this brick wall theme with each of the characters breaking through it. Has a very vintage video game feel, and I absolutely love that gorgeous artwork of each of the characters right there next to the blister bubble. If you rotate the boxes around to the backside, we've got a screenshot straight out of the video game that looks like the old character select screen, complete with a close-up image of the character that's within the package and the country that they are from highlighted on the map up top. Seriously, the packages on these guys are absolutely gorgeous. It actually makes me not want to open them at all because they display so well in these wonderful packages with this beautiful artwork. But opening toys is what I do. I gotta do it for this video so you guys can see what these guys look like out of the box. So let's go ahead and rip these open. Alright, we've got our figures outside of the packages, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at them. Let's start with the scale. We've got them all grouped together here, and if I bring in the tape measure, you can see they stand just under 4 inches tall. So they're right at that 3 3/4 inch mark, just like those vintage Kenner Star Wars figures, which is exactly what these are basically trying to emulate. The whole idea here, of course, with the ReAction line, is kind of reimagining some of these properties in that classic style, as if they got action figures in the era where this was the norm. 5 points of articulation, and in that 3 3/4 inch scale. Let's take a look at them one by one and see what we got. We'll start things off with Ryu. Really cool look here. You can see he just features his classic white gi with the black belt. It's nice and clean. All the paint is very nice on there. He's got the red bandana. It's just kind of painted around the head there. It's very cool. I love it. It's very simplistic sculpt, but it's iconic, right? Like you look at him and you notice right off the bat that this is Ryu. Articulation, of course, is just at the head. You can see it's a nice tight joint, so the head looks left and right. The arms basically just move forwards and backwards. There's no other articulation in the elbows or the wrists or anything there. And then the legs move forwards and backwards. Now, with his gi, you'll notice that they kind of sculpted on the front part that's hanging down there, but it's sculpted onto the legs so that it moves with the legs. Now, that looks fine on here. It's not so bad. You'll notice that across on some of the other figures, and I'll talk about that more when we get to them. Bringing in Ken, of course, he is very simplistic. You got the red, you got the lighter skin tone, of course, because he's from the USA. Ryu, of course, from Japan. You got the bare feet there. So they are very accurate to the looks of the characters. And I say that because I'm kind of in my mind already comparing them to the old G.I. Joe Street Fighter figures. We're going to show those off just a little bit later because the scale definitely reminds me of that. And then, of course, Ken does have a unique head sculpt with the long, flowing blonde hair there. Same kind of angry look on his face, though. So there's Ken and Ryu. Let's go ahead and kick it over to Bellanca. He was always one of my favorites as a kid, of course, because he appealed to the kids most, right? He's the big green monster guy with the electricity. Always loved this guy when I first started playing the game. Then Ryu became my guy when I got a little bit better at playing. But I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Bellanca. Love Bellanca. So you can see he's done in that nice bright green color. He's got the ripped brown pants there, the little shackles around his ankles. They even sculpted on the orange hair on his chest, which is appropriate. Look at that ugly face. Oh my goodness. With that bright orange hair, kind of bushy there. Again, articulation is the same across the board on these guys. So let's bring it over to the one lady in the bunch, which is Chun-Li. Now, I do think that they did a great job with Chun-Li's sculpt. I love the design there. I think they did a great job of capturing her overall look. And, she's very reminiscent of the character. Again, you look at it, it's easily identifiable. I think that is definitely a key factor with these kind of retro-style figures. Because you're almost like giving them a less stylized sculpt. You're making them look like older toys, but as long as they're still recognizable as the characters, I consider that successful. Chun-Li looks great, and there's good details here, you know, with the yellow line work on the blue outfit, the white belt. The line's paint is a little crooked. I wish it was a little more straight, but it's not so bad there. And you got the little spiked bracers around the wrist there, the tall white boots. You can tell she's wearing like the pantyhose type there. And this is what I'm talking about with Ryu's gi. Chun-Li's skirt piece is exactly the same. It's kind of part of the leg sculpts, and you can see the way it's articulated in the front. And that's because when you move her legs forwards and backwards, the skirt piece kind of goes with it. So that does look a little weird if you're going to pose her like this, you know, or if you're going to try to do the scissor kick, which, by the way, the leg doesn't bend backwards because of the skirt piece, so you can't really, you know, get her in. I mean, you're not going to get these guys in a lot of their signature poses very well anyway. It's not like you can really get Ryu doing Hadouken. That's the best we can do there. So, but otherwise, articulation very much the same here. Just the head and the arms and the legs that move forwards breaks up the sculpt there a bit. Bringing it on to Zangief, our wrestler here. Wrestler from Russia. Great sculpt again. I love the big bushy beard there. Just like Bellanca, he's got the hairy chest, which is a really nice touch. All sculpted on. Paintwork looks really clean there. Look, he's even got the hair on the shins. Look at that. He's got some crazy patchy hair, doesn't he? I love it. And articulation, exactly the same as the rest of these guys. And that'll bring us to Bison. Love the look of this guy. He's got the whited out eyes, very evil look to his face, almost demonic. You know, articulation functions the same. Nice bright red color, gray for all the silver parts. It's kind of like a very cartoony look. But overall, these guys are nicely sculpted. They're good and solid. They do a good job of doing that retro style, I think. There's little you can do with them. They're more meant for display purposes than they are for play. You're not going to be able to get a lot of poses out of them. You'll definitely have to use your imagination. Like, I don't know. There we go. That's a pile driver from Zangief. So, there you go. That's how they look. And since I brought it up earlier, let's do this. It's comparison time. The scale totally reminds me of those G.I. Joe Street Fighter action figures, which I love. I have a soft spot for them, even though they were way more G.I. Joe than they were Street Fighter, since the sculpts were not really that accurate to the way these characters appeared in the video games. It is fun to still kind of look at them side by side with these new versions, and you can see the differences between them. So pretty cool stuff there. So there you guys go. There is a look at the brand new Street Fighter 2 ReAction figures from Super 7. Really fun assortment here, and I do like these quite a bit. I feel like stuff like this works very well for the ReAction style. I think these are a lot of fun, and they definitely make for some unique collectibles in the collection. Obviously, these are meant to be something different. They're not supposed to be super accurate with crazy detailed sculpts and super articulation. These are meant as a niche item for that crowd that likes these vintage style figures. And I think these are a lot of fun, very novel item. Obviously, there's a lot of characters we didn't get. We don't have Balrog. We don't have Vega. We don't have Guile. So there's a lot of guys from the game that are yet to come out, but hopefully we'll be seeing more from Super 7 on this line, because I really enjoy it. So I got to give a very special thanks again to the folks at Super 7 for sending these along so we can get a good look at them up close. These are available for sale right now at their online store, super7store.com. So happy hunting, my friends! And hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, then why not hit that like button? Feel free to leave me a comment, let me know what you think of these figures, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on a toy review. Until next time, my friends!